Hi everyone, just a quick video today about these Aldi bike lights and how to change the batteries. So I've got a whole evolution here. This is the oldest one and it's the most recent. I've been using them for many years and they're very reliable and durable. You can see by the battle wounds and scratches and things like that, they've done a fair bit of work, but over the years the lithium batteries start to fail. They use a standard sort of 18650 battery and can be replaced, although for some of the models it's incredibly difficult to actually open them to replace the battery. But for example, this model here I haven't ever managed to open to replace the battery, so that's still got the original battery in it from must be 10 plus years ago. This guy is very difficult to get into, but there is a way, and the newer model seems to be really quite easy to get into. So I'll run through these two on how to open them up and change the battery. And this one we'll see how we go. I might try something, but otherwise if you do know how to get into that one, feel free to share in the comments. So with the newest model here, if you take the front lens off, you can see there's the LED, little spring underneath there, don't lose that. And then if you go to the back, you can see the PCB assembly in there. And with this particular model, I've found you can, with enough force, you can just slide the whole assembly out the front, and you can fit your battery that comes in and out pretty easily. The cell that I put in there was actually physically a slightly different size, and that's why I've sort of packed it up. But that's how you get into that particular model, and then to put it back together it's just in the reverse order. You can see these little tabs here. They sort of lock into the barrel down there, or they don't really lock in, but they slide. It's sort of a friction type fitting. But this model is pretty easy to get into to replace the battery, and you can. I'm already have managed to get a few years out of that particular battery. And so if we move to this model, this is the more difficult one to get into. This assembly is pretty much like the other one. You can take the front off. Again, there's a little spring in there. You can take the rear off. And if it helps, you can take this rubber bit out. Now, this has the same sort of setup as the other one. There's a couple of tabs on either side here, and that prevents you from pushing it forward, and it also prevents you from pushing it out in this direction. It seems a little bit counterintuitive to push it in this direction, just because this is attached. But I actually found I had the most success by desoldering the LED and pushing in that direction. But even still, to push it out, I found I needed to deform the roundness, so deform the cylinder using a vise. I actually saw that on another video somewhere on YouTube, that by pushing in this direction, it made it possible to, I think he was going in this direction, hammering it out, but I found that if you go this way it doesn't need as much force, so I don't think I'll desolder this for the demonstration, but I'll stick it in the vise and show you that it's possible to push it out. So here we are at the vise. It's actually an Aldi vise, which is quite appropriate. Now when we deform the housing, you sort of want to squish it flat in this direction so that where the tabs are, it expands, and then that allows you then to push it past the metal section that seems to stop it from sliding. So you want to go at 90 degrees from the switch, just like that. If you've got a bigger vise, it's probably better. It's only a tiny little hobby vise, this one, but it seems to do the trick. So I've found that you can actually go in both directions. Going in this direction is very difficult, but you can get there with a fair bit of force and maybe even some more deforming. But I found that if you go in the other direction, you don't need as much force. And see, that's now passed. Now I've done this a few times, so my tabs are getting a little bit worn. But if we try to go the other direction again, yeah, it's sort of getting stuck. I might desolder the LED and we'll have a closer look. Okay, so that's desoldered the LED, so I could slide it out in that direction. Yeah, but you can see inside the housing there's sort of a tabbed area which prevents you from pushing it in this direction, and that's on both sides, and that's where these tabs meet up. So by deforming it, you will eventually be able to push it out in this direction, to push it and slide it down the inside of the cylinder, but it's very difficult. The other option is to try and force it past the threads. In this direction you'll see this region here sort of gets a little bit chopped up against the threaded area there. So in general, best bet is to deform it and yeah, see how you go, whichever way works for you. You might find going in this direction is easier, you might find going in this direction and desoldering the LED is a better option. But you can get in there, and that's the replacement battery I've got in there at the moment, and it seems to be going strong. So it's a real pain to get into, but you can get in there. Now this guy, the front doesn't come off, as far as I can tell. The back does. Very similar design to the others. And if you look down there, it looks like it's the same sort of design, so I would say that if you try to deform it again, you might be able to go out in this direction, but I'm not sure if the LED would come with it. So look, I'm not going to go any further with this model, so if you happen to know, feel free to comment. But that's pretty much it. So in general, they're great lights. Might not be so straightforward to replace the batteries in them, but yeah, look, I'm a big fan of them, as you can see by my collection here. So look, hopefully this video helped, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.